A quick follow-up in math class today has to deal with geometric and arithmetic-based patterns. So your homework tonight is having you look for patterns. It says come up with a rule and then predict the next three in the sequence. If you have a quick reminder, your brain works a little bit. Mine's a little bit failing at the end of the day today because I feel like I've been in front of this computer all day long simply zooming and recording myself, which admittedly I pretty much have. But a moment of silence. My favorite purple marker ran out of ink today, so you have to forgive me. I'm back to the other colors. It was the only purple marker I had, so any special gifts you're thinking about, love those extra purple markers. All right, so I'm going to go switch over to black marker for right now. Geometric patterns and arithmetic patterns. We talked about this in class. I'm going to abbreviate a geo pattern, and then I'm going to switch and change the color to red. I'm going to go to the arithmetic pattern. Okay, a geometric pattern deals with multiplication and division. So if you're multiplying by a fraction, like let's say half, it's the same as divided by 2. So I say this is like dealing with multiplication and division in your pattern. For arithmetic pattern, you're dealing with, you got it, addition and subtraction. So if you subtract a number, it's like adding a negative number. So if I subtract 2, it's like adding a negative 2, right? So these deal with addition and subtraction. Now, an example of patterns, if you think about your homework tonight, it has to do with, I think it's practice 9.1 or 9.2. I think it's 9.2 maybe. Again, sorry, all the numbers are running together after a while at the end of the day here. So if you have a series of numbers, let's go with the geometric pattern. Let's say they're giving you 1, 3, 9, and 27. Okay, first thing you gotta do is predict what the rule is. In this case, if I multiply 1 by 3, I get 3, and multiply 3 by 3, I get 9. Oh, so the rule is times it by 3 each time to establish that pattern. Okay, makes sense. Now, if that's the case then, on homework they want you to establish the next 3 numbers in the pattern. So 3 times 27 is gonna give me what, like 81? And then 81 times 3 is gonna give me 243, right? Something like that. All right, and then you take 243 and multiply it by 3, you get your final number. And that's how you do the assignment this evening that I gave you. For those of you in the other class who haven't had math class yet, you won't have it until tomorrow, you're getting a little preview about it. Also, a bit of advice for the math class. If you hear about Jackson Whitehead's experience in the helicopter thing going on, then you're probably going to remember on the game we're playing, the Zombie Apocalypse with the geometry math, the Zompocalypse. All right, so they had a little problem in the first step of their game being in the helicopter. Now, if you've never played one of these games that we have in class, none of this makes sense to you. But if you're a student, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I would recommend being cautious and thinking carefully of your actions before you do, because you never know what might happen. We got through most of the class in 50 minutes. We're budgeted to spend like 3 or 4 classes to finish up that game. But remember, in order to be able to play a round in the game, you got to answer some math questions too. Now, I did go over the geometric pattern with you once, kind of jumping around here. Let's give an example of the arithmetic pattern. So let's start off simple. Arithmetic pattern. So let's say, I don't know, 2, and then 4, and then 6, and then 8. You get it, right? I add 2 every single time. So plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So the rule would be plus 2 and the next 3 numbers. Well, 10, and then 12, and then 14. So we can break those out. And we could predict the next 3 numbers pretty easily by coming up with that pattern. Now, admittedly, these patterns are not complex or difficult. That's not the idea. It's to introduce the idea of geometric patterns and arithmetic patterns to get you thinking about that. Then what happens is a little later on, they start changing them up on you. Now, there's one thing to consider. I'll draw a marker. If it's a neither pattern, now that means where instead of adding 2 every time, maybe it adds 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then it falls under the category of neither, okay? Because it's not an arithmetic pattern, because it's not the same number every single time. Okay, even though you're adding every single time, it's not going to be classified as that arithmetic pattern, because it has to be the same thing every single time. The idea behind the pattern is, if you can predict the pattern, find out the rule. If you can predict the 3rd number, you can predict the 333rd number. It allows you and gives you power to make predictions farther on down the line, or if you have one sequence of numbers farther down the line, you can predict backwards. backwards, all right, in reverse, and to predict what the first number may be. That can be useful in certain situations and calculations you're looking at doing things. We are going to take these ideas of arithmetic and geometric patterns, combine them with the data collection of the graphing we've been doing, and then we're going to start adding in function rules. Yes, I said function rules. You're going to think of it as the ugly little F word for function. Why? Because you end up coming up with algebraic expressions to predict X and Y coordinates. So that gets a little bit trickier as we go down through it. I'm not going to rush ahead and get to that, but that's where we're going with it. Okay? For right now, think carefully about your zombie apocalypse game we're working with. This is zombie geometry. If you have a team, let me know what the team is. Oops, wrong side. This side. There we go. There's our team over there for the other class, or the first class that I had today. So that's how I'll keep track of who's in the game and who's moving forward. Okay, hope you had a great day. I'm going to record this and upload it before I go on to my next meeting this afternoon. Busy day. Hope you guys have a great day, and by the time you're watching this, maybe late tonight or tomorrow, it'll be almost weekend.